This is 55 TV and we are at the new locations. This is our third take now. We've had drilling upstairs. Our cameras run out of card, but we are a professional team and we're doing it.
We will get there.
It's not very like 55 TV to do more than one take, but we have a true professional here. Rivkie, how are you doing?
I'm good, how are you? Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you, and we were so excited to have Rivkie here. We've got 2 mics, we have lights hanging from ceilings, we have a proper TV station now.
It's a real station.
Oh my God, that's scary. Rivkie, tell me about your new project at the moment, which is a Slink Magazine. It's really exciting. I've looked at it online.
Slink Magazine is a new fashion and lifestyle glossy magazine aimed at women size 14 plus, and it's one of the first plus size aspirational magazines in the UK.
So you are going to come from this angle that it's more avant-garde fashion rather than high street, and there are some plus-size magazines, but they're not really that aspirational, are they, as such?
No, I think a lot of the plus-size market is very aimed at being commercial, whereas what we've tried to do is take even high street things and make them look more aspirational. So we've got fashion in there for every budget, but we've also got great travel features, we've got great beauty and makeup, and we've just tried to shoot it in a way that reflects kind of mainstream publications.
How are you finding your models and the booking of the models? Where are you getting them from?
We're actually booking most of our models through Hugh's 12 Plus model agency, who have been fantastic. Our cover girl actually flies all around the world shooting plus size fashion. She was absolutely amazing, but I think there is a real lack of editorial models in plus sizes. Plus we also only use models size 16 and up, as opposed to what the industry standard calls a plus size, which is a size 12 according to the industry.
Size 12, that's not really the industry base, is it? It's really exciting. I mean, I'm a photographer and I shoot fashion as well. It's very interesting to come from the 2 different angles. How do you feel about the representation of you know, the young girl that is a small size, generally an 8 in fashion?
I still think it's really important, and I still read every single fashion magazine on the planet. I mean, I've got piles at home. I just think that if we look at the way the market is going and the retail market, the only fashion market that's growing is the plus size market. So why there's no media for it is completely beyond me. So I think it's nice to have a mix. I still shoot sort of size 8 editorial as well. I just think it's really important to represent all women.
Sure. I think it's a really exciting situation, and I get a bit kind of sick myself with people having a go about the fashion industry and the state that it is and the people that we shoot and the models. I mean, these girls and these guys, they're young, that is just their natural size. I don't think I've ever come across any model in my expanse years of shooting, we won't go down there, that I have come across an unhealthy model that's been bullied or badgered into being thin. It's just their age group, it's just their size. I do, however, think you're doing a great job at producing a magazine which is more aspirational for the real woman and the real man. I don't know if you're shooting men in this at the moment, or if you...
We're not planning to shoot men at the moment. We're going to stick with women and grow the market that we've got. But we've had an amazing response, even from girls that are a size 10, 12, who just want to see women that are closer to their age group, for starters. You know, a lot of models that we use in editorial are sort of 16, 17, maybe 18 years old at their oldest. And when you're representing clothes for a woman who's got money to spend, you know, their bodies have changed. So I think it makes women feel more comfortable to see someone with curves that they can connect with.
Yeah, I think if there's one criticism is that we have a boundary of shooting models between the age of 16 and 21.
Yeah.
And I mean,
they get old after that.
Does anybody get old after that? I didn't. And that is a false sense of identity, isn't it? Because most people that are buying fashion really, and the kind of magazines that we would look at, are 25 plus.
Yeah, I mean, Slink is kind of aimed at women between the ages of 28 and 45. I mean, that's going to be the age where you have the most money to spend on yourself, really. And I think we've just had such a great response from, you know, women of all sizes that are just excited to see something that's aspirational but curvy, that has no boundaries really, in the sense of saying this is exactly what you should look like. I'm still UK fashion editor at Fiasco, which I love. See, I'm kind of, you know, I'm in that in that mix where I don't have a problem with skinny models. I just wanted to represent a different market as well. The idea for Slink came because I was doing a lot of personal shopping and a lot of styling for women that were plus size, and I saw that a lot of them weren't paying attention to trends, or they just didn't understand what was going on in the world of fashion because there was no media format to tell them, and they were constantly told that they couldn't be fashionable because of their size. So I thought, hey, let's start a magazine and tell them that they can.
And was this your brainchild?
This was my brainchild and my baby, and
great.
Somehow I've managed to get myself a team. I think we've just grown to 14 people now. And the girls that work on the magazine, and boys, are all different shapes, sizes, ages, backgrounds, but they all understand where I'm coming from and they all agree with the ethos, which is great.
This is great to see young entrepreneur creative that can go out of her way and produce a body of work several times. I mean, it's I've watched your career as you've grown, and in our industry we all are interested in what projects are coming up. Tell me from your early years, because you're so old now.
I'm so old.
So old. Tell me from your early years, what brought you into fashion? I mean, it's a curious thing for all of us, what drags us in here and why we become a creature of fashion and the arts. What was your story behind this?
Well, when I was at high school, I was studying textiles, and I actually went to the Victoria and Albert Museum, and I saw the Asylum collection by Alexander McQueen, and I just was completely blown away by the sort of slight weirdness of it, but the beauty and the way that he'd kind of pulled that all together. And from that moment, I was just hooked. I mean, I'd always been into my clothes, but I think I didn't really understand what the fashion industry was and what fashion was until I saw that. That, for me, was like the moment where I thought, okay, this is the industry I have to go into.
And what is fashion for you?
Fashion for me is experimenting and trying new things and looking at the past, reinvention, and just having fun. I think the industry is so fun, when we all get together at Fashion Week, and sometimes it feels like a job because you get so stressed, but then other times it doesn't feel like a job at all because, you just enjoy it so much. And I think you have to really embrace it, and, when new designers come through, really embrace, and I think people in the industry should try and nurture that rather than just always stick with established houses and publications.
I think that's one of the problems with the fashion industry, and I think the art industry in general. They get quite closed off. They get success and they shut the door to anything that's opening, anybody new that's emerging. And I don't know why that happens. Maybe it's fear, paranoia, somebody's going to step on toes, but it is a problem, I think, is as you go through your time in the fashion industry, you constantly see it happening and people are not allowed to emerge. Especially at the moment with the magazines being different place now, internet-based. It's great because it's opened up. People can launch a product like 55 TV and get a voice out there, but it does make it hard financially to get a backing. There are pros and cons about that, but you fight, don't you? And you make something happen.
I think you have to, in order to be in the industry now, you just have to fight, and you can't. I think people, unless they're in it, don't understand it. And when you are graduating and you've got all these lofty ideas, I think tutors should be responsible for saying, actually, do you know what? It's bloody hard, but if you really enjoy it and you really want to do it, go for it. And just you've got to keep chipping away at it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that it's hard, it's bloody impossible a lot of the times, isn't it? But against impossibility, you make it happen, and you it's strange at times when you feel like all your cards are down and it's all finished, that your brain just pops out with an idea, and it keeps you going for another 6 months. And as you say, when we all meet together at Fashion Week, it's a great community, isn't it, as a team?
I think we all keep each other going, and I think that's kind of what's nice about Fashion Week. You look forward to those every 6 months. You might not have seen people, but when you all get together, you renew everyone's energy. And I think that's the key of fashion, is always renewing and always kind of thinking up something new and just always continuously pushing. And if you're not that kind of person, then you're not going to ever make it in fashion.
Yeah, sure. We are all wayward children, aren't we? We are freaks of nature, and
We are.
this is where we kind of feel like we belong.
Yeah, because I think it's so diverse that everyone fits in, everyone's got a place, which is great.
Sure. Rivkie, tell me something about next season. What are you excited about?
What am I excited about next season? Just growing Slink Magazine and seeing where life takes us. We've had such a good response, and I hope that the industry is ready for it, and I hope that, you know, even some of the established brands understand that there's actually, you know, for instance, designer handbags, there's a place for them in plus size fashion, and not to close off because maybe that's not the image that they want to project. We're trying to change the image of plus size necessarily being frumpy and, you know, just the same as everybody else. So that's my goal for the next 6 months, is just to push.
Good. We're going to be following Rivkie in Slink Magazine very closely, and we'd love to keep up. Maybe in the next 6 months we'll do something. We can see how it's been going, because as individuals and as teams in the fashion industry, we really are about supporting each other and seeing how far we can stretch a project. Nothing is a failure in this industry. Anything, as long as you attempt to do something, it is a positive motion.
Yeah, I think as long as you attempt and you put everything into it, then it's never failure. It's always, you've got to try. If you don't try, you just stand still and you don't get anywhere.
One foot in front of the other.
It's our mantra.
We're with Rivkie, a Slink Magazine. Look out for it. This is 55 TV.
Thank you.